It's psychological.
Back to old school. Got none of my stuff. Driving a different flat hood with a smart wheel. Truck wouldn't start. Just clicks. It's not dead. Just the ignition doesn't pass the wire or the power to the starter. How come all the other trucks have instant jigs? Except for me. Bullshit. Remember you're driving a W9. Remember you're driving a W9. First time I drove this truck. Oh, it's got this sweet brake pedal. Ah, okay. 430 is not 456. Sorry, Nick. Feels like a VGT under the hood. Oh, it's gonna be a smooth ride today too. In the disc player, it is too. It's in the CD slot. Corners like he's driving a wheeler still. Pretty cool. I like the sound for sure. It sounds deadly. So yeah, nothing too exciting happening today. I just thought maybe since I'm driving a different truck, I'd give you guys a little change of scenery using the shitty camera, because obviously I don't have half the stuff that I would normally have because my truck is set up for cameras. It's kind of a pickle driving something else all the time. See? Just gonna zip on down to Cochrane. We're gonna double suck some C-ring panel skids, as far as I know, I think. At least I hope that. New Wave got bought out by Fraction, so it's hard to tell what be going on now. Man, hopefully they come take all their C-ring skids out of our second yard. That'd be nice. Have some more room. Yeah, I just came in, start my truck. It's just power, everything, click, click. Usually, you know, try a couple times, eventually it comes around, but it did not come around. And the mechanic was underneath there with the test light. multimeter, just probing stuff. He's like, okay, turn the key. Turn the key. Turn the. He's like, there's no power going to this wire that goes to the starter that tells the starter to be like, yo, engage. So yeah, here we are. I'm like, what's my options? He's like, well, it's Monday, so there's a few people that are off today, so I got a couple options. And I haven't drove this one yet, so I'll take this one. Zip on down to Cochrane, grab these 2 panel skids and bring them back to our yard. As far as I know, maybe they're going to fraction now. They don't have any room in their yard. Maybe we're grabbing skidded wide ones. I don't know, I scissored flat already, so because these, yeah, I don't know. Mushroom, dark, fed shit, don't know anything. Just go there. Be there for 1:30.
Yeah, I see you going. Went up this little hill, now you're kind of facing back towards the southeast there.
Gosh. AC. Strangely, it's warm out. Like it's summer or something. 31 standing around the truck, so it's probably like 25. Loaded up with the 6 E-ring panels. What do we do? A walk around when we do the load check. Weird stuff going on. The winch wouldn't work when I was pushing in the clutch and I couldn't drive in winch. For those of you who don't know, C500, the pump comes off the front of the engine. Everybody else, for the most part, comes off the transmission. So the clutch has to be out and it's not matched where you could just, you know, have the clutch out driving winch. It's usually the truck takes off. Oh, no jaking. Calgary's right here. It's supposed to be super quiet. Oh boy. That is awfully close to the fenders. This truck has got a super low fifth wheel and it's probably a quarter of the distance what mine is from the fifth wheel to the fenders, because it was more of a highway truck before it got turned into some sort of winch truck. It's not a bad truck, but if you're a highway guy and you were about to build a winch truck, this is about what I would expect from you. We've been here many a times for all these wells, right? This is where I thought I was going the first time before we went to that other one up there, where we took the Titan tank and matting and all that good stuff. Yeah. Tread lightly. Especially the house. There's a house right there. Super angry. Probably super happy that we're here again doing stuff. But the C-rings, they have their own water wells drilled here, so they just put up the C-ring and then they turn on the tap. I don't know what it takes, like a week to fill it or something. Long time. I think they got 3 or 4 wells drilled. Which you got to think that's kind of got to be hard on the water supply for everybody else. So I don't know how that works. Some people be mad. That's not oil field waste. You know, farmers be coming up. That's deck material. Who's got a new deck? How dare you? They hate us, but they do stuff like that. They're like, oh, you could just pick up my stuff. Looks like they had to do some lawn mowing and they picked up all the loose brush. Yeah, that house. We've been here a few times doing rig moves, and there's been some choice words said between somebody's wife. I get it. It's annoying for sure. Like, how would you want this in your backyard? I don't. I'm always scared. I'm like, where would I move where there's no oil field? But I work in the oil field, so yeah, it doesn't work. But anyways, we'll zip these back, and then you go to Raylands and get the double, or I think it's just removable gooseneck, hydraulic neck, 24 wheel blow boy. Haul for using the haul derricks and like suck across rigs. It's pretty skookum. I've seen a few people have them over the years. It's nice because when you're on the ramp, you can kind of adjust and do a little bit. Not a whole lot, but some. It's handy to have. And then when you want to deck down, you just put the neck down. Freddie. Been working around that guy like pretty much my whole life. All right, so back to town.
When there's no one sitting on the throne, let me be the one showing you what I know. Down here is hard as hell, you'll burn. I will get up there and make sure I never will return. Let me be
steering panels. I'm sure you guys have seen these a few times. They're slightly round, so it takes probably 4 of these skid loads, depending on what size of pool you're building actually. But the majority of them takes probably about 4 of these. So 2 trucks, 2 skids each, 1 pool. And then once it's bolted together, they use a picker to pull them out, and a hoe drags them around as the picker kind of grabs them up. That's why the skids are always just plumb full of dirt. And then once they got them all bolted together in a big nice circle, we got a geoliner that goes on the bottom, and then they got a big, I don't know how mil, 3 mil? I'm unsure, but it's pretty thick plastic liner, of course, and that goes inside the whole inside. And then they bring that over the edge, and it usually hangs down almost halfway, and then they got a system to keep it all in place. Put sandbags in the middle, so if the wind picks up, it doesn't take off. Sometimes they'll have a tank truck standing by, and they'll throw a load of tank truck into it. This is some of the bullshit we got, because they drag them around with the hoe. I supposed to haul, obviously that got hauled down the road to here somehow. Ridiculous. And they're just trash too from the haul. Critters just trying to get a grip on them anyway. But anyways, let's unload this thing. I find nails everywhere in here. Tons of them. Bullshit. Should have a magnet. keeps running.